very much for joining us tonight on the 4th HGA Africa Entrepreneurship Summit 2023. I am excited. And why am I excited? I'm excited because we have a lot of opportunity to learn from thought leaders, from people that industry, from people who are in business. And I hope that we'll have a lot to take away tonight. So kicking right off, let me just introduce HGA Africa to those who are not familiar with what we are about and what am I actually doing here? Toluwani asked me to come, so I'm here. So what are we about? So HGA Africa is a social enterprise. We are dedicated to supporting, promoting, and facilitating the entrepreneurship and enterprise development, leadership, and personal and professional development and growth of Black females and Ireland's females of immigrant backgrounds. What's our vision? We seek to be a leading voice for the sustainable social economic inclusion and advancement of Black females and females of Ireland's immigrant communities. So we have that core mission to support and promote and facilitate the sustained and sustainable economic development, inclusion of females of Black Africa and Ireland's immigrant entrepreneurs. And you notice that I've not said Ireland's immigrant community altogether. I'm actually being very intentional about saying Black females of African descent, because the challenges that we face as people of Black Africa are very unique to us. But of course, we also work with Ireland's immigrant community. Okay, so we have that core mission to see that the females of immigrant background and Black females grow in their enterprises and they build thriving businesses where they're not just job seekers, they're actually job creators. And so you heard me say that we're likely to be going to Africa next year, and it's something that I'm really committed to. Just before COVID came on, we were meant to go to Ethiopia. We had Ethiopian Airlines as our primary, how do you say it now? I forget what's going on in my head. Partners and supporters. So we had prepared everything. The Ethiopian embassy was on board, and then we quickly had to start canceling because we knew that COVID was on the rise, the lockdown. So we hope to be able to take that trip next year. So it is great to be here. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon for this summit. I'm hoping that it will grow bigger and better. And it is great to see everyone. So I'm going to hand over to you now, rather hand you over to the chair of HGA Africa board. Now, as I said, HGA Africa is a company limited by guarantee. We are a social enterprise and we have a board of directors. So our chair is, I want to call her so many things before I call her name, but I know she doesn't like things like that. So I'm just going to leave it as is and allow her to introduce herself and to speak. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dolapo Sanusi-Ola, chair of HGA Africa board. Over to you, Dolapo.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
We can.
Oh, good evening. Lovely to see everyone's beautiful faces. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here this evening. And more than being excited for this evening, I'm actually excited for the future of the African woman and the endless, limitless potentials that we all have as individuals, that the whole world is waiting for us to kind of unleash. When Toluwani reached out to me to say, oh, you're going to be giving, obviously, this speech, 10 minutes. Hopefully I can do justice to it in 10 minutes based on what the team is. Rather than, I actually had a speech prepared, but I think I'm just going to shelf it.
Is it just me or something happened?
Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now. Okay.
What happened? Interesting.
We lost internet, I think, for a few
seconds.
seconds.
You just lost it for a short few seconds.
I think my internet connection is unstable. Sorry. I'm somewhere in Africa, so my internet is unstable.
Well, what are you trying to say? Somewhere in Africa, internet
Yeah,
unstable.
my internet is unstable. It is true, my internet is unstable. Um, yeah, so I'm just, rather than read my whole speech out, I guess I'm just going to talk to us as a family. One of the things I've learned um in this journey as an African woman, as an African entrepreneur, is the issue of relatability, which is a lot of times people that are starting out their journey feel like African women that are at the top are unrelatable. They can't touch them because they've already gone through the journey and they're somewhere up there. And because of that, I feel like there's a disparity between where all of us are on the ladder when it comes to being an African entrepreneur or an African female entrepreneur. Meanwhile, what should be happening is for all of us to be collaborating at the different levels that we find ourselves in order for us to build a more cohesive ecosystem around the African woman, in order for them to be able to become all that they envision themselves to be, basically. So if there's anything that I wanted to say today and that I wanted to leave people is that issue is the power of collaboration among all of us as we continue on this journey. And when I mean collaboration, collaboration goes beyond, I have what you need to grow, or I have what I need to help you grow. It also goes as far as little things like when I come across opportunities that I know that might not necessarily be for me, I reach out into my network of women and ask who that opportunity is for. And that is very, very important. So one of the things that I find that we don't do well is if an opportunity comes your way and you know, okay, this opportunity is not for me, rather than find someone that that opportunity might be for, we kind of shelve it. And by finding someone that that opportunity might be for, you might not even know who that opportunity might be for. We all belong to. Even Edunity has a group, has a WhatsApp group. Is as little as putting that opportunity on the WhatsApp group for someone else to kind of reach out and say, okay, who would this benefit? To buttress that, I'm just going to tell a story, and that's the story I kind of want to leave like a lot of people with today. In that, we would all win when we all come together as one. Basically, you cannot win alone. Um, Talk to people that have tried to win alone. It's very lonely to win alone. And even when you think that you have everything, which nobody really has everything to win alone, to be honest with you, you'll find out that you would always need somebody to actually help you win. I met a young girl a couple of years back in 2021, 2022. I was on a trip to Nigeria with my daughter. That was the second time she was going to Nigeria, but the first time she was going as a child that was aware that I was going to an African country. And she is very much on the creative side, and she's into fashion. She wants to own her own fashion company when she gets older. She wants to create her own bag. So what I did was I reached within my network and I said, you know what, can you find me people within the creative community that are actually doing made in Nigeria goods so that I can expose her to the opportunities as well within Africa, that there are actually people like herself in a place called Nigeria that are actually doing these things. And someone was like, oh, I actually have a very young girl. She crochets bags. She's called Hooked by Lady. Do you mind? I'm like, no, oh, sure. I mean, it's for my daughter. And my daughter met up with her. She spent a whole day with my daughter, talked her through the business side, talked her through what she does and all of that. And she gave of her time. Now, she didn't charge me anything because someone was referring her to me and I was building on that relationship, obviously. So now, fast forward this year, I consult for a fintech company in Nigeria called Economy, and they were going to Texas. Fidelity Bank had reached out to them and said, you know what, we would give 20 women within your community the opportunity to go and exhibit their goods in Texas from Nigeria. Do you have 20 women that you can kind of recommend? Now, this is somebody that did my daughter a favor. So when they came to me, I said, Dolapo, do you have anybody that you want to recommend? I said, actually, I have one person. she's young, but I think this would benefit her. Why? Because a year before, she had done something for my daughter, right? So she got the opportunity to go to America to display with Fidelity Bank and open up a different opportunity for our business, basically. Now, when they reached out to me, I said, Dolapo, do you have anybody that you could kind of recommend? The person has to be from Nigeria. I could have said no, because of sometimes because you've been burnt personally, or a lot of issues, you just say no. But I just, okay, I can't go because I'm not producing anything. But really, if I look deep and hard, there are other women that would benefit from that kind of opportunity, and I can kind of open that door for that person. So what am I saying? Is that in us saying we're taking on a charge to rethink the possibilities for the African woman that is out there, collaboration, opening up network of opportunities for those around us, being that ladder that people can kind of climb upon, is one of the things that I think we need to start looking at, like very critically, basically. So if I have an opportunity, who else within my network can actually benefit from that opportunity? I always feel that the sky is big enough for everyone. And sometimes when people even give me an opportunity, for those that know me, I don't have a problem bringing 5, 6, 7 people along with me, right? I've ended up in situations where, because I brought 5, 6, 7 people along with me, I actually might not even be the person that might be chosen for that opportunity. It might be one of the 5, 6, 7 people that I brought. And even that is kind of okay with me. Does that make sense? So the point is empowering the people that are around you. When you begin to have a heart of service, a heart to not only empower yourself, but to empower other people around you, you find that a lot more doors begin to open up to you, and a lot more opportunities would actually come your way. And for me, that is the one thing that I wanted to leave you guys with.